Welcome back to Newsroom. I'm Chella Smith. This is your Middle East U.S. entertainment news here on YouTube. I air on Fridays. I bring you the latest on reforms and economics Iraq based on reports put out by the Middle East news media outlets. I do this weekly review and it's based off my interests. Thank you everyone for joining me. Last week we spoke about stabilizing parallel markets, Iraqi trades and local exchange rates, and private banks. As I summarize through these articles, let's take a look at this week's headlines. Shafak News reports Iraq has requested $1 billion in cash from the U.S. Federal Reserves, arguing it contradicts their efforts to curb Baghdad's use of the dollar and stop illicit cash flows to Iran. Since the U.S. invasion of Iraq 2 decades ago, the U.S. provides $10 billion annually to Baghdad through bi-monthly shipping flights. The Central Bank of Iraq has confirmed that the dollar shipment sent by the U.S. federal banks are proceeding according to specific schedule and timing agreed upon between the two monetary institutions. Yesterday, the shipment was received on time, denying the news that was posted by media reports that talks about stopping or reducing shipments sent to the bank. The Central Bank of Iraq called on the media to be accurate in publishing information related to the monetary policy in Iraq and to take it from the approved sources through the official websites and official accounts on social media sites. Russian President Vladimir Putin has welcomed Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani's upcoming visit to Russia, where he will discuss security in the region and Iraq. Sudani will travel to Moscow on October 10th and 11th to discuss economic and political cooperation between the two countries. This visit is expected to be fruitful and timely. Turkish Minister of Energy Alp Bayraktar announced the pipeline transporting crude oil from the Kurdistan region to Turkish ports will be operational by Wednesday. The pipelines were closed due to unauthorized exports between 2014 and 2018. Bayraktar stated that there are no obstacles to shipping Iraqi oil to global markets and that Turkey is a reliable transit route for oil and gas. Talks aim at resuming Iraqi oil exports via a pipeline passing through Turkey are still ongoing. Euphrates News reports the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Mohammed al-Habassi, received Thursday the Ambassador of the United States of America to Iraq, Elena Romanowski. The meeting discussed strengthening the existing cooperation and partnerships between the two countries, supporting Iraq in various fields and a number of topics of common interest. Iraq's central bank disapproves Reuters report, affirms accuracy of the dollar deposit policy. Shafak News reports Bank of Iraq has clarified that the citizens' deposits in U.S. dollars within Iraqi banks are a guaranteed right, following concerns about the safety of deposits. Mazen Sabah Ahmed, Director General of the Investment and Remittance at the Iraqi Central Bank, stated that the central bank guarantees dollar deposits and citizens have an inherent right to receive these amounts in cash and U.S. dollar. The central bank has practical tools to minimize differences between exchange rates and is implementing measures to reduce discrepancies, ensuring a more stable financial environment. The announcement of January 1st, 2024 as the date for ceasing cash withdrawal pertains exclusively to transfers received from outside Iraq under specific arrangements. Shafak News reports the foreign exchange transactions at the central bank, the CBI auction, rose significantly on Thursday, with an increase of 81% in cash sales, reaching a total of $162 million. According to Shafak News agency correspondents, the CBI sold a total of $193,082,499 in its auctions for buying and selling U.S. dollars at a base rate of 1305 IQD per dollar for documentary credits and international settlements for electronic cards. For foreign remittance and cash transactions, the rate was 1310 IQD per dollar. Our correspondents added that most of the CBI dollar sales went towards boosting foreign balance in the form of remittance and credits, totaling $162,862,499, which represents a 81.44% increase compared to $30,220,000 in cash sales. Furthermore, our correspondents noted that 9 banks purchased cash dollars, while 18 banks met with requests to enhance foreign balance. The total number of exchange and broker companies participating in this auction was 142 companies in all. Shafaq News reports dozens of owners of banking company organized on Thursday morning a demonstration in front of the Central Bank of Iraq in the center of the capital, Baghdad, demanding the lifting of sanctions imposed on them from illegal financial transactions. The correspondent of Shafaq News Agency said that about 80 people from the owners of banking companies gathered in the area of Rashid Street in front of the Central Bank building, calling on his administration to lift the administrative and financial sanctions imposed on them. The United Nations is back in Iraq. Iraqi Prime Minister Mohammed Shia Sudani met with UN Secretary General Janine Plasheret to discuss relations, the UN mission work in Iraq, joint program, and preparations for provincial council elections. The meeting also revealed Iraq's effort in addressing displaced people files, climate changes, and reintegration into society, as well as its climate-related measures. And last but not least, this next clip that I'm going to share with you was from First Post Media, their archives. It shows a little bit about the de-dollarizing in Iraq, the consequences. It also shows about the past and history and how Iraq got where they are today. Let's take a look.
Iraq's Interior Ministry issued a statement. It was a message for all citizens of Iraq. Listen to this. The dinar is the national currency in Iraq. Your commitment to transact in it instead of foreign currencies boosts the country's sovereignty and economy. So currency has now become a matter of nationalism. But why were Iraqis relying on the dollar in the first place? Well, this is a trend that dates back to the 1990s. It began with the Gulf War in 1991. It was followed by UN sanctions. And then, more than a decade later, the US invaded Iraq. All of this damaged the Iraqi currency, the dinar. It lost value with each conflict and finally collapsed when the Americans invaded some 20 years back. Just to give you an idea, $1 was worth 4,000 Iraqi dinars. So the war killed the Iraqi currency. After the war, the US established a stranglehold on the country, and the US dollar became the de facto currency of Iraq. America also helped establish the Central Bank of Iraq. But this is a cash-dependent economy. According to the World Bank, just 26% of Iraqi companies use the formal banking system, only 26%, about a quarter of them, and 98% of Iraq's companies pay their employees in cash. And since Iraqi dinar lacks value, the US dollar is used to make those payments. But the past few months have been turbulent. America has restricted Iraq's access to dollars. And why is that? To curb money laundering. Washington says dollars from Iraq are being funneled to Iran, Syria, and Lebanon. So the Americans limited the supply. This led to a cash crunch in Iraq. With fewer dollars to go around, the Iraqi dinar lost more value. Suddenly, people of Iraq had fewer dollars to use, so they jacked up the price. Officially, $1 was worth 1,460 Iraqi dinars, but on the street exchanges, it was selling for more than 1,700 Iraqi dinars, a single US dollar. You know what that means? When your currency is worth less, goods become more expensive, prices shoot up, inflation rises, and so does public anger. The same happened in Iraq. Citizens took to the streets. The government had to intervene. They decided to ditch the dollar and protect the dinar. Those still using the American currency will face tough punishments in Iraq, a fine of up to 1 million dinars. That's about $680. Repeat violations could lead you to jail. Businesses could lose their license. So Iraq's shift away from the dollar is out of necessity. It also shows how America controls the country 20 years after the invasion. It can cause economic havoc just by limiting the flow of dollars. Iraq's neighbors are watching all of this and exploring alternatives for themselves. In other words, they're all exploring de-dollarization.
And the central bank governor, Ali Al-Awlaq, confirmed success monetary policy in reducing inflation. Speaking about the exchange rate over the weekend, Iraqi Finance Committee member Moeen Al-Kazimi has accused the U.S. of arbitrary actions towards Iraq, resulting in the dollar crisis. He cited the filtering of remittances and unrealistic reasonings for U.S. policy, which forces traders not to import from Syria. Al-Kazimi emphasizes the need for internal solidarity and popular awareness to control American hegemony by importing materials and other currencies to break free from the U.S. dollar. The Central Bank of Iraq has proposed solutions to the crisis, including simplifying taxation and procedure for travelers. However, Al-Kazimi emphasizes the need for serious control over banks and their performances. The Iraqi economy is experiencing a shock with a continuous rise in the dollar exchange rate in local markets despite the official exchange rate. And you've been watching Newsroom Weekly Review. I'm Chella Smith with your Middle East U.S. entertainment news here on YouTube on reforms and economics Iraq. I bring you the latest Dinar news without having to keep up with all the different outlets. Don't forget to subscribe and turn those notification bells on. If you like my content, you can give me a thumbs up. If you really like my content, you can always seed a super chat or a super thanks in the comment section below. Thank you for those who sent donations through Cash App. Again, thank you for being a subscriber, and thank you for visiting Newsroom Chella Smith for your trusted Dinar news. I'll see you guys next week. Have a fabulous weekend. Take care. Make sure you join us Fridays, 4 p.m. with Newsroom Updates with Chella Smith Entertainment News.